It does make it easier for you to have the creative flow and just know what they want, because I'm part of their target audience.
Yeah.
So I can think like, oh, what would I find interesting to see? What reels would attract to me and everything. So it makes the job easier. I would love to hire someone extra, but then I always think like, what aspect can I even give to them? Because I like to do everything myself. Like of course, when someone hires me, a lot of the time they like my content. They did a short TikTok using like the Drake and Kendrick references. Like people love that, because then obviously people are like, oh, they're like really with it and they know what's going on and they're using it. Usually when a trend happens, it will stay around for like 2 weeks, 1 month. Like people will still be really into it, but then there will be something new. I was really scared to do it at the start because of course you're like, will I get clients? How long is it gonna take to get more clients? It's scary. I think it's always I think any person who started their own business, like think it's obviously, you're taking a risk.
What's up, Laure? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, great. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Below the Fold.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's start with a quick intro about you. Tell us a little bit about your background and what are you doing today and what got you into this?
So I'm Laure.
Okay.
I'm born and raised in Belgium. I lived in LA for a bit, and then 8 years ago I moved to Dubai to work with Emirates, the airline.
Fantastic.
And then when I was done with the flying, I wanted some more routine in my life, so I started doing social media marketing in-house for a collagen brand. And then while I was there, I thought, why not do my own thing so I can take on more clients and just do more? So last year in December, I started my own agency, L'Influence by Laure.
Brilliant.
And now we're here.
Let's go. And we're here to talk about how to start a social media agency in Dubai.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting into that, right? Getting into that field, whether it's social media or even digital marketing.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's important? Let's start with this question. Right, let's cut straight into it.
Okay.
Why do you think it's important to find a specific niche when you want to start your social media agency or an industry focus for your agency? Whether it's focusing on luxury brands or maybe you're catering to startups or tech startups. Are you focusing on a particular niche?
So I kind of ended up in health and wellness.
All right.
Which I'm very happy about. And I think it's because I'm really into health and wellness. It's a part of my daily routine. I love working out, doing my Pilates. I love like eating good food and all the
everything that comes under
everything
right?
that comes with like health and wellness.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell into it, but I think it is really important to work with clients that you're passionate about, because it does make it easier for you to have the creative flow and just know what they want, because I'm part of their target audience.
Yeah.
So I can think like, oh, what would I find interesting to see? What reels would attract to me and everything. So it makes the job easier.
Right.
So, and I think as well, because when they refer you as well, they usually work with brands with the similar target audience. So if they're like, oh, she's really good with that, then you kind of just get more clients in that niche.
And are you even more niche than health and wellness? Because I still think health and wellness is pretty broad too, right?
It is, yeah. But it is quite broad. Like for instance, some of my clients now, one of them is a cold pressed juice company.
Yeah.
Another one is an activewear, but very they really target Pilates people, so it's perfect for me because I love Pilates.
Of course. Yeah.
And then
who doesn't?
Exactly.
Right, in Dubai, yeah.
Exactly. And then my other client is a yoga studio. So I mean, it kind of blends together all of them.
Right. So healthy juice,
yoga studio,
Pilates,
activewear,
activewear.
Exactly. So it's kind of all in the same, because it's nice, because even if at the yoga studio, if we have an event sometimes, then the juice company gives juices for the event. So they kind of all start collaborating as well, which is really nice, because then you get exposure, because it's all the same target audience, but it's a different business.
Yeah, it's like soft health and wellness, right? Peaceful health and wellness. Would you take on like a CrossFit client or?
I mean, I worked with a supplement brand before.
Okay.
And then I mean, I'm a girl. I take my like supplements that I have to take from time to time, but I didn't know about creatine and like beta alanine and all these things, but I had to learn about it. And then obviously the more I was reading about it, the more I know. And then now I feel comfortable working with brands like this as well, just because you learn as you go. And that client gave me the chance. They were fine that I didn't know everything about it. So they gave me the chance to learn about it. So yeah, it's like, why not? I mean, it's still in the field, so you never know.
You never know. You never know. I think it's also a lot about the quality of the work that you deliver.
Exactly, yeah.
If you deliver good quality work at the end of the day and good service, I think a lot of clients would be interested in you and employing you outside the realm of or outside the niche that you're currently covering, right? And tell us about how you started. Like, who was your first client?
So my first client was the juice company that I'm working with.
Yeah.
And it's very funny how this came about, because basically when I was still in-house with the collagen brand, I was going on a holiday and I was like, oh, I want to do a juice cleanse. So I ordered myself a juice cleanse, and then I was thinking like, hey, maybe they should collaborate because it's the same target audience. So I contacted them. I was like, hi, I work for this brand. I was thinking we could do like a collaboration, a giveaway or something. And they agreed. So we did a giveaway and it really went really, really well.
Okay.
Like both accounts got a lot of followers from it, just because it is such a similar thing.
Niche, similar audience.
Exactly.
Right?
And
or complementary products.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then when I decided to start my own thing, I reached out to them because we stayed in touch, because even the two brands now have a collaborative drink together. And so I reached out to them because I knew they liked my work, because they said it before. So I was like, oh, I'm going to start by myself. So if you're looking for someone in social media, in content creation, I'm glad to do it. And then they were very excited about it. They did a little trial run with me, and that was it. So it's very coincidentally, because it's just because I did a juice cleanse that I know them.
Yeah. And I'm sure you did a fantastic job with them, for them to, be excited to be working with you again, right?
Yeah. I mean, they were my first client. So I signed them in beginning of December, and I'm still going strong with them, and they're still very happy as far as I know. So yeah.
And now that you're growing your list of clients, what do you feel is bringing in more clients? Or in other words, what do businesses need, right? Is what are they looking for, that you're able to provide them?
So I feel like how it's growing is a lot of like word to mouth.
Yeah.
And like people that are like, for instance, some of my clients, I know they have referred me to other people, or just because I think connections is a big thing. Like even if you
and
go
it's underrated.
somewhere, exactly. Like even if you go somewhere and like they know someone, you never know. I always kind of bring up what I think in Dubai in general. A lot of people are always like, oh, what do you do? Like people are very interested in what people do. So, of course, you always talk about it. And a lot of the times it's like, oh, I'm looking for someone in social media. Or like, oh, my friend just started a business and they want to work with someone.
Yeah.
And I like to work with, I would say, like, they're not necessarily smaller businesses, but it's not like a big corporate business, obviously.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, like, I like to be personal with my clients. And that's the thing that I sell myself on as well. I want to have clients that I enjoy working with, and I can be more personal with, and I can be a bit more flexible rather than like a bigger agency.
Yeah. Let's break that down a little bit, right? So word of mouth is important.
Yeah.
You talk to potential clients. You tell them about what you do. They tell you about their business. You find areas of opportunities. You get them a little bit excited about employing you and the work that you can deliver to them. And then you send them a quote.
Yeah.
And then things can take a 180
it's
turn
my least
right
favorite
there.
part.
Yeah. So I want to touch on this a little
true,
bit.
yeah.
Like, how do you deal with that? Because in a lot of cases, I feel like you send them that quotation and then you never hear back from them.
Yeah,
right?
It happens. It happens for sure. I think as well, because it's a struggle, especially with, I think, social media and content creation, because a lot of people, they don't realize how much work goes into it. They think, you just post a quick reel. Like it doesn't take that much time, but they don't consider the amount of time that goes in it, like thinking about the creatives, then making them, editing can take so long. Even a 30-second reel, a lot of the times you film like a 10-minute video and you make a 30-second reel out of it. It takes a lot of work because you need to find the key parts.
Right.
Looking for the perfect music to go behind it, because it needs to be a trending song, but it needs to go with your video as well. And the scheduling, everything takes a lot of work. But a lot of people, they don't realize that. So a lot of the times when you do send the quote, they're like, oh, it's a lot, like it's too much just for social media.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
just for a couple posts.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Right.
I mean, at the start, I struggled with this a little bit more just because I think when you start an agency, you really focus like, oh, I want clients. I was still selective a bit because I only wanted to work with brands that really are like that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
But then at the start, I would like sometimes, of course, you can negotiate, but still, you need to know your worth. And I
Yeah.
feel like now that I'm growing more and more, like I have more boundaries and it's
Yeah.
easier for me to say like, look, this is the rate. And because
Yeah.
I know as well how much work goes into it. I know how much time I have to put into it. So it's easier to kind of stand my ground and be like, well, this is my rate. And yeah, of course, if it's too much for them, it's too much. But then, yeah, I mean, maybe
Yeah,
they'll
then
come back later. You never know.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got expenses, right? To
Exactly. Yeah.
cover. Have you I know that from a startup perspective, you may not have like perhaps an ideal, well thought of, perhaps, I don't know, 2-year, 3-year, 5-year business plan.
Yeah.
But do you have a goal in mind? Like where are you headed?
I mean, of course, like we all want to grow our business.
Yeah.
I'm not a crazy like workaholic, to be honest. Like I think it's a good thing if you are, because obviously you want more and you keep like working harder to get more.
Yeah.
I'm like right now, I'm quite comfortable where I'm at and I'm happy with the clients that I have.
Yeah.
But if another client comes in that I would really, really want, like, of course, I'm thinking of like, I would love to hire someone extra. But then I always think like, what aspect can I even give to them? Because I like to do everything myself. Like of course, when someone hires me, a lot of the time they like my content. So I want to take the content still.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, I could give them the editing. But
Yeah.
then what if they don't edit it like the way I
Right.
like it? You
Yeah,
know, so it's
yeah.
kind of, I
Then
think
it's
it's
double the
really
work.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's really hard to kind of know when you're I mean, obviously you want to grow and it's great, but what can I give to someone else? What can they do? And that it's still, because I still would want it to be like represent me.
Yeah. I think maybe you can start with the tedious tasks, perhaps. Or
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe like the scheduling, because a lot of some of my clients, they want like a monthly calendar and you
Right.
need the captions and stuff up front.
So publishing content.
Yeah, so it could be good maybe to like give that first and then go, I mean, step by step. I guess every agency, when they grow, it's like their struggle. It's like, what are we
Yeah.
going to, because you still want to have it your own thing.
Right, right.
Because people hire you for you.
Of course. And that's why they put the top dogs on top.
Yeah.
Right? At the
Exactly,
top.
yeah.
Right? So that they can make sure that the product being delivered is always top notch.
Yeah.
And also, like, growth could come from your current clients, right?
Yeah,
That's what we
exactly.
call organic growth at
Yeah.
agencies.
Yeah, because even now, one of my clients, they're thinking about expanding.
Yeah.
So they as well, they're like, I want you to do more
Mm-hmm.
if you have the capacity, of course. And then I'm like, I love working with this client. So I was like, I mean, of course, I want to keep it going and do more with that client. So,
Yeah.
and I love all the clients that I have right now. So there's not one of them that I would be like, oh, I would want to let them go. So of course, the best option is to hire someone, even like part-time, to do just some stuff that can take time, like
Yeah.
some things off your hands. And then I have more time to focus on that as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about gear?
Gear.
What equipment?
I know everyone always
Tools,
yeah.
softwares.
So tools. So the filming, I'm not a
Yeah.
videographer, so I
Right.
film everything with my iPhone.
Okay.
But I did get
okay.
the newest one just because
I
the
mean,
camera
look,
was
the
good.
biggest brands now are shooting like crazy.
I know. Yeah, they're filming
campaigns
crazy
with
things. Yeah.
iPhone, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, obviously, if a brand asks me like, "Oh, we need like a very professional video for on the website," then I'm like, "I'll get you a videographer and they'll do it."
Yeah.
But other than that, I film everything on my iPhone, and I
Yeah.
have a small Canon X7,
Okay.
which is great for videos as well and pictures. But
Yeah.
it's like a small compact one, but it's a
Yeah.
great camera. A lot
Yeah.
of vloggers and stuff use them actually.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I do have like a professional photo camera just because I studied photography in high school.
Yeah.
So I take all my content myself. So every time when a client wants to do a shoot either for the website or for social media, I shoot it myself because it is in my background.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do lifestyle. I always say like I don't do in studio because I don't want to oversell myself. I haven't worked in studio in years.
Right.
So I don't feel comfortable doing that. So if it's like any e-com pictures that they need, then I hire another photographer to do
Right,
that. But
right.
usually it's lifestyle, so that's completely my thing. So it's great.
Yeah.
And then of course I use Photoshop and Lightroom for
Okay.
editing.
Yeah.
And then Canva is my best friend.
All right. I like that.
Canva is the best for all the graphics. I think every social media agency, they love Canva. Like the girl that invented that, like she really did really well.
Right. What do you use it for? Because I feel like there's a ton of
No, you
use
can
for
do
Canva.
so much with Canva.
Right.
I do all my like scheduling, like my content calendar,
Yeah.
just because I like it to look a certain way. And you can literally just, it's so easy as well because you can put in like a brand kit for all the brands you work with and put all their like color hexes in their fonts and it just keeps it there. So it's easy to use it.
Yeah.
So I'll use it for like my own like scheduling, but then I use it for any graphic stories for the brands or yeah, I mean, there's so much you can do on there. I love it.
Amazing. Have you tried any other tool other than Canva? Because I've heard of other tools as well.
I used to use, what was it called again? It was Studio by GoDaddy. I
Okay.
think they might have changed the name now, but
Yeah.
back then the app was called Studio. It's similar to Canva.
Yeah.
But then, and at the start I preferred that one, but then I got into Canva and now I just do everything on there because then everything is saved and I can just keep the same style and everything.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I use Canva a lot when I build strategies and presentations. And
I see it's so good because
Uh,
they have like nice templates as well and then you can just change it and do your own thing with it. So it just makes life easier.
Right. And so all this work that you're building off of Canva
Yeah.
or off of your camera or the other gear that you're utilizing, where are you storing it? Do you have an archive? Are you building a portfolio?
I mean, my portfolio right now is my Instagram. I feel like it's the easiest way as well to just. I have a photography for
Give us a little
portfolio.
shout out for your Instagram account.
So it's L'Influence by Laure. Whoop, whoop. Woo, woo. Yeah, it's just, I feel like it's a lot of people just, whenever I meet someone as well, they're like, oh, what's your business's Instagram?
Yeah.
Like no one really asks me for a business card or anything. They're
No,
always like,
this
what's your
is-
Instagram?
This is a time of
Exactly.
yeah, it's
Especially
Instagram
I am in
business.
social media. So I mean, that's the thing.
Right. Yeah.
Social
I mean,
media
the
is-
first thing that they're gonna think of is if you tell them you're a social media content creator and community management company, the first thing they're gonna think about, okay, let me see what you do on social
Exactly.
media, right?
Yeah. So I usually refer them to my page. A lot of people as well, they ask for the pages of my client just so they can see what's going on there, how their grid
course.
looks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a photography portfolio that I made at the start as well to send out. But I feel like, yeah, most people just ask for my Instagram and have a look at that. And then, yeah, but then the rest I store on I have my MacBook.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Apple girl.
All right.
And then I have like a hard drive that when I'm finished with that work, I'll put it on there because otherwise my MacBook just becomes full. So
Oh, you have okay, good.
Yeah.
You have a hard drive. You're
Yeah.
not using any cloud solution or any.
I mean, everything is saving on my cloud, but I'm one of those people that don't understand the cloud. Like I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's on the cloud, but how do I get it from the cloud? And is it always on the cloud? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I delete it, will it still be there though?
Right.
Supposedly it is, but I don't know. So I'm like, I just want to like rather be safe than sorry and have a
Right.
hard drive as well with
Fair
everything.
enough. Fair enough. And walk me through, or walk the listeners and viewers through, how would you kick off a relationship with a client who agreed on your proposal? So like, what's the first thing you do? You have some form of discovery session with them, understand what their goals are, what their KPIs are, what their brand stands for, so that you can then go and do your homework, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I always kind of ask like what because obviously if they want to work with me, it means because like either if they were existing, they weren't maybe liking the style that the other person was using or the other agency. So I always kind of ask like, what style do you like? Like how do you want it to look? Do you want
Yeah.
it to give it like very colorful or do you want very aesthetic blend?
Yeah.
Like it kind of depends on their style. I
Yeah.
mean, the goal in the end is always to sell more product.
Yeah.
So I go with that. So for instance, for the juice company, I think it's important to like, for people, they want to know the benefits.
Yeah.
They want to know like, what are the benefits if I do a juice cleanse? So a lot of the posts will be more about like, why drink green juice or stuff like that, because that's always kind of catchy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just good to keep posting just for exposure for your current clientele. So they're reminded because they'll be like, oh yeah, it's time to do another juice cleanse. And like, of course you'll get reach from that as well and like attract new clients from that.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I think what else did you ask? I'm like forgot the rest of the question.
So you do a discovery session with them to understand what they stand
Yeah.
for, the brand stands for,
Yeah.
what their goals are. Is it selling? Is it maybe drive awareness? Is it maybe positioning their brand in a certain way? So obviously you do need to align yourself with that information, so that okay, what kind of content you need to go after, right?
I feel as well like the first few months, it's always you need to kind of look for like what they like and what works. So you kind of try multiple things. I always, of course, send it to them for like approval.
So you always have this back and forth with them, right?
Yeah, especially at the start. Like at the beginning, they, of course, because you need to know as well, like, do they actually like this, or what is their style? Like it's very personal. Maybe I will love a reel and they're like, oh, I need more of this in it or more of this. And then you're like, okay, that's their style. So then you redo it, right?
Yeah.
And then after a while, you kind of learn, okay, this is what they like. It's good. And same with the audience. Like you kind of try to post different kind of pictures and reels, and you see like, oh, what is work? Like what gets a lot of engagement?
Right. So what do you look for when you look for engagement? Are you looking for engagement rates, or are there any particular metrics?
I mean, I look kind of at like, you can kind of see if a lot of people, like, I look at the likes, I look at the views, because even like some reels, you'll see they barely have any views, and then others have more for some reason. So then it's like, okay, what is it? And then, for instance, it might be like because there was writing on the reel. Like it kind of depends on the different reels that you have there. Like, because sometimes you just put a simple thing and it goes really well.
Okay.
So then you just kind of look at it, and over time you're like, okay, people seem to like this kind of content.
Right. Have you picked up on anything that's working?
I mean, it's very different for every brand, I feel like.
Okay.
So it's because, for instance, like what works for the yoga studio is like, I've noticed they really like reels that are actually filmed in the studio, not like another person doing yoga on the beach, which like aesthetically is super nice. Yeah. But then for some reason that doesn't like drive as much engagement.
It's not relatable. Like,
exactly.
People can't
for sure, I think
themselves.
people love to have like relatable stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's the same with the activewear brand that I work with. We like to also, it doesn't have to be like super skinny models and stuff like that, because it's like more, it wants to be a relatable brand. It's like for everyone.
Yeah.
It's like a comfortable brand and everyone looks good in it. So it's like, we don't want to just have models that are with the perfect body in it.
Yeah. It's not realistic.
No, it's not. Yeah. People like it to be realistic and like like, for instance, for the activewear brand as well on because like TikTok is they like to see workouts and stuff, we've noticed. So then on that one, we really post a lot of just like workout posts, like little Pilates workouts or like tips for like, oh, if you want to snatch weights, do this one. And that thrives because I think people just save it because they want to do it for their workout. And again, it's not like it might not drive
I just realized you said that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
No, like it might not, like, I think in general, TikTok doesn't like, it might not really drive sales, but it will drive exposure.
Of course.
You never know. Like maybe that person will be like, oh, it's cute what she's wearing as well. And then you do get some follows from that as well.
I mean, if it drives engagement, obviously it's going to drive more reach.
Exactly.
And the exposure you get from earned media, from earned likes, or from engagement is much more powerful than the direct exposure you get from from your posts. So you mentioned TikTok. So your top 2 platforms today for your clients are Instagram and TikTok, or is there anything else?
I mean, only if you're like B2B, then it's obviously LinkedIn. That's like the only one that matters, I feel like, at that point.
Yeah.
But for the rest, it's definitely, I feel like Instagram is the biggest one.
Yeah.
I do still post on Facebook for some of them, but I don't think many people are on Facebook anymore. Like I also see it doesn't have much engagement on there. It's just, you might as well, I mean, it's all connected, right? So you might as well post it on there.
You see reduced engagement on Facebook.
Yes, definitely. I think Instagram does more. I think it depends on the age group as well. Like for instance, I know, for instance, my parents are still very much on Facebook. But then again, they're like switching to Instagram. Whereas in like, but they're not going to be on TikTok. Like the older generation is not really on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like TikTok is very Gen Z. I think again, like TikTok is very good for exposure, but I don't really think it drives sales.
Right.
That's what, from my experience. Other people might disagree,
we're
gonna
see some. I hope we see some comments from TikTok guys out there.
Yeah.
who disagree or
yeah,
TikTok
it's just because
execs.
like I don't know if anyone has actually like figured out the algorithm of TikTok, because like it's so weird. It's just like sometimes you can put so much effort in a video and you get barely any views.
Yeah.
And then when you do like the most simple video, it gets so many views and reshares and everything. So you're like, what? Like, it's just very random. And even again, when like someone follows you, that doesn't mean they necessarily will see your TikTok. Like because you'll get, I don't know if you sometimes scroll on TikTok, but you'll see you just get random people in your feed. Like
Yeah.
it's not necessarily the people you follow.
Right. It's very open.
Yeah, it is very.
algorithm.
I mean, it clearly can tell what you like, because I feel like if you're watching a lot of the Olympic videos, then you keep getting Olympic videos.
But the Instagram does that too, no?
Yeah, I mean, it does it as well, but I feel like TikTok is just more
More direct.
focused on it. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. It's just simpler.
it is simpler.
I feel like TikTok will appreciate, or the TikTok audiences would appreciate real footage.
For sure. It's
Real
definitely more,
content.
they love like the real
Yeah.
stuff. And then like, even what works really well is like when you have like a silly trend, when like a brand hops on the trend, it's real, or like when you hop on like current things that are going on like on TikTok, people love that. Like it's a very random thing. But for instance, there's, you know, when there was the whole Drake, Kendrick Lamar thing going on.
Diss tracks, yeah.
So at that point, like for instance, I saw like Ryanair, they jumped on it. And they used
Ryanair,
it. Yeah.
out of all brands? Wow.
Ryanair's social media game is like really,
Off the
really
top,
good.
yeah.
Whoever's doing that, because they're always just like, they also comment on people, and they kind of just like, if someone's like, oh, like I just want to have a window seat, then they'll reply like, well, then pay extra. Like that's literally the
Wow.
comment that Ryanair will give you. Like Ryanair
On TikTok or
everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.
Like they're really like on Twitter as well. They're really funny. Like
Very
whoever.
tacky.
No, they're very but it works, because then people
Yeah.
are like, oh, because they're very like real and they
provocative.
don't care.
Yeah.
So they as well, they did a whole like not a whole, but like they did a short TikTok using like the Drake and Kendrick references. Like people love that, because then obviously people are like, oh, they're like really with it, and they know what's going on and they're using it.
Right.
So yeah, it's funny.
I mean, they're a low fare airline. Like, why would they care about
Exactly.
about like a high end brand
Exactly.
positioning, right?
But even, you know what, as well, the Empire State Building, their TikTok is hilarious.
The Empire State Building.
Yes,
in
they
New York.
have. Yeah, they have a TikTok.
They have a TikTok account.
Yeah, they have a TikTok account, and they always do whatever is going on, like whatever is trending on TikTok. They will they do
will
like a
hop
reel
on it.
with yeah. So they'll do like a reel with like the TikTok with the Empire State Building, and they put like eyes on it and a mouth, and then they like.
That's
it's very
hilarious.
funny, yeah, and it works because people love it.
Yeah. Would you like obviously advise brands even around the region here, right? That to hop on trends.
Yeah,
like that?
definitely.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I think it's always good. Like we did it with the Jews brand, for instance. There was, I think everyone knows that one, the song where it's like, I'm looking for a man in finance.
Oh yeah. I've seen that.
Right?
Yeah.
So like we did that as well when we launched our new juice. We did like
Yeah.
a video where it's like she goes into the store and she holds it, and then we just put text on it relatable to like the juice.
Yeah. Nice.
And then it got a lot of likes, because people are like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the trend, like they're on it.
Yeah.
So I think people really like it when you're like, oh, they're with their time. And like, I mean, it depends on your audience as well, but obviously, especially if you have a lot of Gen Z and millennials in your target audience, then it
Yeah.
definitely works.
Yeah. And you feel it works more for TikTok than Instagram?
I think for TikTok, it just works more for like the reach that you'll have in the engagement.
Yeah, but you can
But
hop
for
on the
sure,
trend on Instagram as well, right?
You could, but the thing is, like, Instagram is kind of, they catch on later. I don't know if that makes sense, but if
No,
like,
just explain it to me.
so
Explain
something
it to
will
the
be
listeners.
trending on TikTok, and
Yeah.
everyone that is on TikTok will know about the trend.
before
Before
Instagram.
Instagram, because
What?
it goes to Instagram like a month later, and then there's so many like funny things about that on TikTok as well, where like someone will send you an Instagram and be like, oh my god, how funny is this? And it's like, I saw this on TikTok like a month ago.
Wow.
Like you're late to the party kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Would you say you're an active TikTok user?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm an active TikTok user and scroller.
Yeah.
I checked my time the other day, but it's also because I want to be on it as well to know what's going on.
course.
Because I think that's part of
your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I have to stay with the trends.
Yeah.
So I have to spend a lot of time on social media. So the other day I checked my time that I spend on TikTok and I was shocked. My average was like an hour and a half a day. And I was like, that's too much. But I usually go on like when I'm in bed before I go to sleep, I'm just scrolling and it's so hard to stop scrolling.
Downtime.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, but I feel like an hour a day is all right, actually. I've seen screen times much, much higher than that.
No, but my total screen time will probably, because like Instagram is probably also an hour and a half.
Right. Yeah, but even that,
I mean,
I think what takes a lot of time also is messaging on WhatsApp and.
Yeah, that's probably up there in my.
Yeah, is that what you talk to your clients on WhatsApp?
I do talk to my clients on WhatsApp.
A lot?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
Do you like exchange like content and they go back and forth and
the content I don't like it depends on like again approval. It really depends on the client and how they like to communicate, like because with one of my clients it is all like through I mean we still speak on WhatsApp but like the calendar and stuff everything will be send by email because they have like more than one person on the team as well that wants to check it.
Yeah.
But yeah, with one of my other clients, I just send it to her on WhatsApp, and then just because she's very busy as well, so for her it's easier because she can just say like yes, no, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I have another client that she doesn't really want approval. She's like, you can just do whatever you want to do. I trust you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
For all the clients out there listening in, thank you.
No, but it takes time. Like you need to obviously know like, okay, they're doing a good job. They know what I like and it's great.
Right. And so speaking of client interaction, let's talk a little bit about client expectations.
Yes.
Do you face that? Like clients come to you with briefs, expecting the moon.
Yeah.
With a budget that will take them to Abu Dhabi.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think everyone faces that.
Right. How do you manage that?
So I feel like the clients that I've ended up with, they're just not like that. Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's just because like it's more in the initial like meeting that people will say like, I want this or this. And then again, yeah, if you send them the budget, then they'll be like, oh no, we don't want to pay that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well,
you asked
then
for it.
No, if you want less, if you want to pay less, then you get less.
You're right, yeah.
But what like a lot of social media managers will relate with is people that are like, the least favorite sentence that we hear is make it go viral. I cannot just make it go viral. Like, especially organic like engagement, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna post this and it's gonna go viral for sure. You don't know if something's gonna go viral.
Right.
Or if they're like, I want to grow 1,000 followers in a month. I don't have a glass ball and I can tell you, yeah, we're going to have 1,000 followers. And again, like there might be agencies that say like, yes, we can promise this.
Yeah.
I don't know like how they do it. I don't know if they're like just lying and they're thinking like we're going to ace it. But like, as far as I know, you can't guarantee that.
Right.
There's no guarantee. Like you can't look into the future and be like, yes, we're going to gain 1,000 followers in a month.
Right.
Like, yes, if you're running ads and you were especially like awareness ads, you will draw more followers in.
Correct.
But organically, you cannot predict that you'll gain 1,000 followers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can maybe you can look at the past 5 posts and look at on average how many followers they've generated. And based on that, you could maybe forecast based on the upcoming posts,
yeah,
right?
Of course.
But
again, it takes like, then you have to work with them first to kind of see what happened. Like I can't.
Yeah, but the content, then, you know, obviously if the content's going to change, that could drive different results. But making
I
go
noticed
viral
as well, like when it's a new company, like when their Instagram is just gone live, like at the start, it's easy. You'll actually see more growth.
Yeah.
Like when a company has been around for a while and they're like stuck at 15K, they kind of just stay. Like you'll still gain followers, but you won't like grow immensely more just because you'll at that point you're kind of established and like that's especially
that's your customer base basically,
exactly,
or the loyals
exactly
of your customer base.
But at the start, like for instance the yoga studio that I'm working with, they're quite new, so they're growing a lot. Like the Instagram is like, we probably are getting 1,000 a month, but just because, and also they work with a lot of influencers and you get like the location is amazing, so people are like, I want to go and try it. So yeah, I think it just really depends. But I think at the start, it's easier to grow in a way.
Right. Let's go back to let's make it go viral. which
Yeah.
which is an interesting ask, and I feel like a lot of people would relate to that. A lot of um, listeners and viewers that work in this industry have heard their clients say at least once,
Yeah, for sure.
I think, make it go viral. Would you say maybe one of the ways, I'm not going to say the best way, obviously, but one of the ways to go viral potentially is to hop on a trend?
I would definitely say, yeah,
That would
a
help.
trend would be like the best way to go.
Would help, right?
Yeah.
And how do you go about that? Like, open TikTok and you see what's trending and you pick that? Is it
It would
that
have,
simple?
yeah, and you have to kind of be fast on it as well, because like what's trending this week
Yeah.
might not, I mean, like usually when a trend happens, it will stay around for like 2 weeks, 1 month, like people will still be really into it, but then
Yeah.
there will be something new.
How do you know a trend is like a week
So
old or
you kind of just see, like when you're scrolling on TikTok, you'll see a lot of people hopping on the same thing, or like there'll be
Yeah.
like a sound that's trending. And you just see it the whole time.
okay.
But then after like a month, you don't really see it anymore. Or like if
Right.
people will post that after a month, they won't get as much engagement on it because it's like,
Right.
okay, by now we're tired of
Yeah,
it.
I mean, if you're picking up this trend at like the end of its life,
Yeah, then it's
right,
like,
then you're not,
I mean,
you're not
everyone
gonna,
has seen everything by now.
Exactly, you're not gonna get on the hype, and I
Exactly.
think that's where you benefit of you being on TikTok, being a passive scroller or an active scroller for like months and months.
Yeah.
So you'd know if a trend is new or old, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, maybe we should hire more scrollers.
We should.
Maybe we should hire
Actually, that
someone
would,
full
like,
time to do that
actually,
for
that
you.
should be like, but that is actually probably a job. I'm imagining like big agencies probably have someone that's just like, they might have like an intern
Gosh,
or
you'd be
like,
surprised.
no, they probably, or they hire like a student and they're like, just scroll and let
intern.
us know.
Yeah, just scroll for months.
Yeah, because like, I mean, especially Gen Z, they're on like TikTok the whole, I think that's all they do. So like they would be, they probably can just tell you.
Right. I
then
think there's a
again-
dashboard on TikTok now that you can use.
Yeah. You
Right?
can, yeah, but and also it depends from like country to country. I've seen as well like TikTok in the UAE doesn't push as much as TikTok in the US and stuff.
What do you mean
Like
in
this is
terms
gonna
of-
be something like it, so for instance, I've noticed like in the UAE on TikTok, if you have something with like alcohol, they're not gonna push it.
Right. Okay.
Whereas
okay.
in
So
the
there-
US, of
there's-
course, they do push. They don't care, kind of
Right.
thing.
Right. There's a little bit of moderation.
Yeah,
here,
there
right?
definitely is.
Yeah.
Because they are all managed like separately as well.
Yeah.
So, and I don't like, I think like also content from the US like will be shown here more. Like in general, obviously they'll have more users there.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, you just like a lot of the times when you post from here, you just see like it doesn't get pushed as much.
Right.
So I don't know if like it reaches more. And the thing as well on TikTok that's interesting, like once your video is doing well, it will keep doing well. So
Right.
like it's not like you posted it today, it's gonna go good for 3 days. Like if it's going well, it will keep going well for like a month. Cause like it reappears in people's feeds.
Right.
So they don't know like when you, cause like you don't really see the date unless you go on it. But so now as well with like the activewear brand, we posted one TikTok and we have like 100K views on it and it keeps going because people are saving it and like resharing it because it's like a workout thing.
Yeah.
And it keeps going, like it's not stopping.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So the virality is bigger on TikTok.
Yeah, because on
basically.
Instagram, it like when you post, they'll show it for like a few days and then
Yeah.
you don't really, they won't. Sometimes on like the explore page, they'll show you older content, but like on TikTok, it just, once your video is doing well, it will keep it alive for a long time.
Right. I guess that's good news for brands who are hesitating
definitely.
to be on TikTok.
I always, because when my clients ask me like, oh, should we be on TikTok? I'm always like, we might as well be because
Because it's
we're
not for every
making-
brand, right?
Yeah,
Would you-
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, but even at the same time, like you don't necessarily have to make other content for it if you don't want to like do that, but you're making your reels anyways for on Instagram. You might as well post them on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like you don't have anything to lose by that.
There's no doubt that there's also a lot of people on TikTok, lots of users there.
Yeah,
so,
definitely, yeah.
you're missing out.
Exactly, yeah.
Even for your niche brands, there's a lot of there are a lot of irrelevant audiences on TikTok.
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
It's not just Instagram. Has any client ever asked you, what about duplication, right? Like if I'm on Instagram, wouldn't that mean that I've already reached my entire audience? Why do I need to be on TikTok?
They haven't really, no one's actually really asked me that, but I do think, yeah, you have a different crowd on TikTok than you have on Instagram.
You have a different crowd, but
You'll have a different reach.
Most TikTokers have an Instagram account.
No, for sure, but they might get to see your content on TikTok and not on Instagram. TikTok might like put it in their feed, and Instagram might not. If they're new, right? Say that.
Yeah.
Because like even me, for instance, like I don't scroll through Reels on Instagram. Because like TikTok originally was the platform for videos, and I still go on TikTok to watch videos. I never really go on Instagram on the Reel page.
Yeah.
That's like personally, right? Just because I'm like,
even
I go into
Reels
like
is big on Instagram now.
It is, yeah. But then I'm like, again, I've seen it on TikTok already.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
it makes sense. But you know what's quite revealing from what you said is even if most of the users have both an Instagram and a TikTok account, right? And there's probably duplication between Instagram and TikTok. The fact that the algorithm of TikTok is different, you can benefit from that, from reaching more
definitely.
people.
Yeah,
right? That's what will set TikTok apart. Right? So
exactly.
You need TikTok to just reach more people.
I do think,
what if they don't see your ad on Instagram?
No, exactly. And the thing is, you can also link your Instagram to your TikTok.
Yeah.
So then if someone likes your brand, they might then go on your page on TikTok and then click on your Instagram handle and then follow you there. Like even if it's, to be honest, even if you gain like 10 more people, it's still 10 more people that you've gained. So why not?
Right. So what's in your view like a trend that you don't have to answer it, but
what?
if you have an answer would be great. Any emerging trends that you're seeing on social media or social media marketing that's kind of helping you out or helping L'Influence by Laure continue to provide value to your clients? Anything that you're doing that you feel is hitting the nail?
Nothing like specifically. Like I do look
obviously,
at like,
besides your creativity, as Laure, right? And your skill set. Yeah.
I obviously look at other pages and stuff for like inspiration, because sometimes you need new inspiration. So like you go and look around, and like, because even something from a brand that's totally something else from my brand, like I'll be like, it's a cool concept, and then you kind of think of how you can do that, but nothing like specifically that I'm like jumping on right now. I mean, like a thing that like I think a lot, but now it's kind of like blowing over as well. But for instance, when it was like a whole thing of, I mean, I'll still use it sometimes, but there's like a big thing was like POV, right? Like point of view. Yeah. Like I'll still use that for some of my clients sometimes as well. And that was like, so it's like, I'm trying to think of an example. Oh yeah. So for instance, you'll do like POV. My Pilates teacher told me to do this exercise for a flat stomach, and now like I've been doing this for the last 3 months and it's working, kind of thing. Okay, and then you just do a video of you doing a workout, but that's your POV. Okay. And it's like a thing that people do. It's like it's a trend as well. It's been around now for a while, but like I'll still use it because you kind of like put a message on your video, and then people are like inclined to watch because they're like, oh, what did you do for a flat stomach?
Right. But do you show your flat stomach?
Not me necessarily.
Not you. I mean, with the
so for instance, when I did this kind of video, then it was like the exercise just on repeat. But then again, people save that exercise. Right. You know?
Okay. Cool. What about tech?
What tech?
So you said any new tech that you feel is beneficial?
I mean, I just not really like.
So
I just have my little
Canva.
mics.
You know what? You like
my little mics, my little lights.
Your lights and
but
mics?
That's not even tech.
What do you use your mic for?
So sometimes I work with a real estate agent. So then they need mics, of course, because it's talking. Or sometimes you just want to like do a little introduction or like something with the founder of the brand. Because I do think as well, it's very important. Like people want to see who is behind a brand.
Right.
Like they love to see who's behind a brand. So I always suggest as well, like you need to be on the page yourself, like your face
like
and
that.
like,
Yeah.
because a lot of people just want to like see who's behind it and like what entice them to make the brand and stuff like that. People are really interested in that. And again, it makes the brand more relatable.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes I'll make some clips with the founder as well, just to put them in there.
Okay. Fair enough. Good tip. A couple more questions before I let you go.
Okay.
Because I'm sure your clients are, eagerly waiting for your input on projects, content, etc. What do you have to say for people that are starting their own agency in Dubai?
I'd say just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Take the leap.
Yeah.
Like I was really scared to do it at the start because of course you're like, will I get clients?
Yeah.
How long is it going to take to get more clients? It's scary. I think it's always I think any person who started their own business, like think it's obviously, you're taking a risk.
Yeah.
But it is definitely worth it. And again, like also know your own worth.
Yeah.
And if you're secure and like, you know that you do a good job, just like people will like clearly they will like your stuff. And then it actually really just comes naturally.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised I haven't had to do, knock on wood, I didn't have to do much like client outreach because it's just been coming to me.
Right.
Just because word of mouth. And again, like especially if it's social media, it is such a big thing and most companies want to be in on it. So they want to hire someone for it. So of course, like why not? Like just do your own thing.
Yeah, jump on it and let your work do the talking, right?
Exactly,
and
yeah.
But like, grow some some cojones.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
This podcast PG-18, by the way. Just so you know. That's not going to change anything we've said.
I hope. Yeah, I was like, wait, did I say anything that I wasn't meant to say?
Grow some cojones and go out there.
Exactly. Just do it. Like, just take the leap.
Just do it. Just Laure do it.
Just Laure do it.
Just let Laure do it. Oh, look at that. What do you think?
I know. No, it's cool.
Just let Laure do it.
I know. I'm going to have to like change my...
Just let...
I don't really have a slogan. Maybe that can be my slogan.
L'influence. Just let Laure do it.
Yeah, just let Laure do it.
Yeah, we can come up with a slogan right now on the podcast.
Exactly. That can be the title. There we go.
Just let Laure do it. I like it. Let's end with a quick shout out or parting words. So tell us where we can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram, of course.
Yeah.
So it's
absolutely
L'Influence by Laure.
Okay.
That's the @
Yeah. So yeah, it will be hopefully also on my Instagram account.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We will you can find me here.
I'll definitely tag
on this video.
On this video.
On
exactly.
this video, you can
100%.
find me. Click on it.
Yeah.
And then you can see my work.
Let's
and
go.
then you can either email me or DM me. All of it is fine.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Laure.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the show. I really enjoyed having you.
I hope I did good. I was really nervous.
Yeah, you did excellent.
It's my first podcast, so there we go. That was fun.
You did amazing. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Me too. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.